Hi, this is part 2 in computer file naming. Part 1 was a general discussion on how to do it. This part's going to be the detailed information on how to do it. Okay, let's get started. Summary of part 1, for those of you who didn't watch it, keeping files arranged helps prevent lost files. It keeps things in a logical order, makes it easier to retrieve things and to view things. It makes finding files a lot faster, it makes backups easier, and it helps prevent wasting space by having lots of duplicate files because you can't find the ones you're looking for, so you create new ones. Okay, so that's part 1. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create main category folders. I'll show you a picture of that in a second. In Windows, these are usually located under your My Documents folder, something similar. These rules will also apply in general to Apple computers, Apple operating system. So this is a picture of what we're going to do. So we're going to create main category subfolders under My Documents. So this is your typical Windows window. And under My Documents, we're going to create folders Correspondence 1, Correspondence 2, Family Album, Personal Information, and Work. So let's assume that we've created those, and we'll start off with the example for work, which was this one down here. And this would be similar whether you're going to do this for personal information, for school, what have you. These files are usually sorted by topic or subject rather than date or something else. So files under a topic sorted folder. We're going to use that work folder that we just saw. And how we're going to name files is we're going to start out with the topic or the subject. So in our case, let's assume that we have a customer and their customer's name is Benson, so the Benson account report. And then we're going to use this year, month, date format. And what that will allow me to do is to have multiple Benson account reports for, say, 2019, 2020, 2021, or by month, say 2019 12. I guess the next one would be 2020-01, 2020-02, 2020-03, etc., etc. This piece back here allows me to keep versions, and versions are very important because, for example, as I'm doing this and I make major changes, I may want to keep a version and put it in what I call a history subfolder, something like that. So that way, if Microsoft, say Microsoft Word or whatever, crashes, which it's been doing on me lately, and you lose your data, the worst case is you go back to, say, 01C, and you get that file and you use that. Okay, but keeping this kind of format will make all of what I just said very, very easy. The next thing might be total sales, and again, using the date format and then a version format, etc. So that would be a work folder. Now, here's a folder we didn't have on the first screen. It's not shown above. School folder, 2019, semester 1. And perhaps we have English 101 book report, Oliver Twist. This is the second version, first shot at the second version. It's a doc file. And then the next one would be Biology 203. And that's a paper on cells. And this is version 01X. We went through a lot of iterations. Okay, so those are files by topic or subject. Now the next thing is probably the most interesting, date important naming. These include things like photos, videos, albums, correspondence, emails, letters, news articles, anything like that that you keep. That date is the primary thing that's interesting about this object. So let's jump into it. Okay, so as we did earlier, we have the My Documents. Then I created a family album folder, subfolder, and underneath the family album I created a year, so 2018, 2019, 2020. So a year folder for every of the years that I'm going to be keeping. And so for example, under 2019, we will create our list of files, our JPEGs, if you will. And we're going to name those. So I'll show you the detail on that in a second. And also we're going to have subfolders for major events. We had Colorado Holiday in 2019 and Trisha's wedding in 2019. Okay, so when we're going to name the files, so like these files out here, we're going to usually, we want them sorted by date. So we want to know like this happened on a certain date and then which picture came first and then what subjects are in those pictures. And then perhaps we want to keep like the topic and the location. So in this case, we have 2018 12/25, which is obviously Christmas of 2018. The next thing, this used to be called a roll number in the old days when we had film. This was the roll of film it was on, and then this would be the sequence number. So this would be the roll A, and then this would be the first picture of roll A. And this still works today to keep pictures in order. Then we have Mom, New Sweater, Christmas, sorry, not Mom, New Sweater, Christmas, JPEG. So anybody can look at this and know that what day it was taken on, what order it was taken in, who's in the picture, and what the picture's about, and basically what the subject or what the background of the picture will be, if you will. And of course, it'll be Christmas. The next one is 2018 12/25, and this is picture number 2, same sequence. Mom, Sis, New Sweater, Christmas, MP4, so this is a video. And the next one is 2018 12/25, and this is picture number 3, Mom, Dad, Christmas tree, JPEG. So what is interesting about this is that if we didn't have this sequence number or whatever you wish to call it in here, what would happen is Mom, Dad, Christmas tree would be at the top, then LMNOPQRS, New Sweater would be next, and then Mom, Sis. So these would not be kept in order, and most of the time, yeah, you'll want to keep things in order. So this year, month, day, AXX is going to work. It'll keep everything in sequence regardless of this other information that you may want. Okay, so 2019, and let's look at these other aspects. So we have Family Album 2019, that's our yearly folder, and then under here we have the Colorado folder and Trish's Wedding, Colorado, Trish's Wedding. And again, we're going to label underneath each of these subfolders, these special event folders, we're going to use the same file numbering scheme, the year, month, day, roll number, if you will, the sequence number, and then the information. And then we would do the same for Trish's Wedding. And what this will do is this will help separate out special events that, you know, it would be that typically you want to see just this special event. You don't want to have to go digging through a whole several kilometers of lists to try to find where the wedding was. So in this way, it will separate it out nicely. You can, you know, call up your friends and say, hey, here's my Colorado vacation. And you can sit down at your computer and flip through those without going through any other pictures that you may not want to share with people. Okay, so these would be the pictures under Colorado Holiday, as we said before. So 2019 Colorado Holiday. Not much different than you would the other files under, say, directly under 2019. Okay, so let's talk about correspondence. My documents, we had correspondence 1. These are a mix of different things. So for example, IRS communications, something that you may want to keep in a special folder. Here we have 2018 emails. These are personal emails. I keep most of mine. Actually, I would do it month by month, but you know, perhaps you don't have that many and you say, okay, my emails I will keep just at the year level. You may want to keep your work emails. And then next year, and the next year, and the next year, and the next year. So this will make it very easy to find an email that you want to look up, and again, sorts it out by year. Okay, so if you have correspondence, family, and work, and you want to keep specific documents in order, in date order that they were sent, here's the same thing as, very similar, I should say, to the photographs. We have 2019 12/25, so this is sent to TSB family, and it's a Christmas letter. So we can look at this and immediately we know what it is, and when it was sent. So it was sent on Christmas Eve, and it was sent to our friends, the TSBs, and the Christmas letter. Here is one 2020-0101, Aunt Mary. It's the wedding checklist for the wedding on this date. And here's another one, garage sale that's in the future. These are some ad flyers we've created for our garage sale. Another 2019-12-25, this is ABC application and resume. So a letter you sent out to a company with a resume for a job application, and so on. So here is under correspondence 2, so this is our next correspondence subfolder. You may have personal information for 2019, personal for 2020, work for 2019, and work for 2020. So this is just, for special occasions, special topics, if you will, and keep those by year. Again, making it easier to find stuff when you want it. Okay, let's talk about subject important file naming. So this is an alternative way of doing it. For example, with work, you can do it by account, customer, or personal data, passport, health, insurance, and stuff like that. Again, we create the subject as needed by topic, and then we're going to use subject, date, number, or a sequence number, whatever makes sense for you. So we have my documents, personal information. This old folder is something I use to keep history in, and I will keep it in the old folder until I feel it's no longer necessary, and then I'll empty that folder to save space. So here in this case, I have my passport information for 2018. So if you're going to reapply for a passport, you want to keep that stuff in one location, say your photographs that you need to send, and then your travel plan for summer '02. Some more subject important file naming, keeping things in subject order. So baseball team for 2018, the players list, okay. Baseball team 2019 players, and you can see where we changed the version. So here we had a lot of versions under 2018, and here we only have 3 versions for 2019. And then for next year, we're just starting out. We still have our first original version. So I can go back and I can say, here's the baseball team for 2018, here's the one for 19, and here's the baseball team for 2020. So it allows me to keep a history. I can easily find it because of baseball team, baseball team, baseball team. Okay, creating subject folders is needed by a topic, and this in this case work, so we'll go back to that. My documents, work. We have the Bensons, Smiths, and Walstons accounts. And under the Bensons, again, I keep a history. So if I want to keep something for a long time, I name it history. If I keep something temporarily until I feel it's no longer necessary, I will name it old. So here's the 2020 marketing schedule. And again, very easy, 2020 marketing schedule version 2. I know exactly what it is. Under history, as I said, here's the 2016 marketing schedule, 2018 marketing schedule, 2019 marketing schedule. Don't know what happened to the 2017. But there again, I can go back in history. I can see what happened to 2016, and I know what schedule they used then. I can copy it over and modify it however I need to do. So keeping a history can save a lot of work, and again, if something goes wrong, you can always go back here and grab something and start over. Music file naming. You can name music files many different ways, so if you like to download from some of these different services, you want to keep your music in the order you want to keep it in. I know there's a lot of programs out there that'll do this for you, sort of, but maybe you just want to keep them raw on your computer and not have to rely on other people's applications to sort stuff for you. But you can do this by group, title, writer. It's up to you. I prefer group order and then title. And you can also include stuff like genre, album, etc. So some examples. Boston Pops, Beethoven's Fifth. So this is group title. John Lennon, Imagine. And this is artist title. ABBA, Dancing Queen, Pop, MP3. So this is group, title, and genre. And you notice here I'm using something they call camel font, where you have a capital letter and then a capital letter to start the next word, and there's no spacing. It saves space because in file naming you can get file names that are too long, and Windows will object to it. So ABBA, comma, Dancing Queen, again the camel type font, comma pop, and this is group, comma title, comma genre. And then we have Beatles, comma help, comma ticket to ride, so group, album, and title. Summary of the key points. Be consistent. Consistent, consistent, consistent. That's the most important thing. Always use the same format for the same type of file. So in other words, your family photos, always label them the same way. If you're going to use the date first, always use the date first. Always use the same format. Don't like use year, month, day, and then the next time use day, month, year, something like that. No, don't do that. Always be consistent. Put the key thing up front. If the key thing that you want to sort on is date, like with family pictures, you want the date up front typically, put the date up front. If it's name, like with work, you want to put the customer's name, account, whatever up front, do that. Okay, a little bit of thought at the beginning saves a lot of time and frustration later. It's very time consuming to go back and find things or to rename them. And back up your important data. Anytime I talk to people about data online, back it up. If you only have one copy, it may already be gone. I lost some Christmas pictures. I thought I had backups. I didn't. Irreplaceable. Okay, and print out important pictures and items. Put them in an album for the future, because very few things will last longer than a old-fashioned photograph in an album. Okay. See part 1 if you have any questions on the general strategy of this. And I hope you found this useful and interesting in your DIY computer work.